All right, happy Monday night, everybody. Welcome on into the daily broadcast, emanating forth and coming to you from the Hat Creek Interior Studios here in West Texas. That's right, Hat Creek Interiors, hatcreek.us. If you're outside the Lubbock area, go to their website, check it out. The best in Western style furniture, accessories, and everything else. You don't own a ranch? That's a shame. You ought to, but you could live like you do with their Western style furniture. So check it out. If you're in Lubbock, drop by the showroom, 10101 South Slide Road. Tell them we said hey and thanks for being a part of this. All right, a lot of things going on tonight on a Monday night. Texas Tech basketball. If you didn't get in on Round Ball Rewind Saturday, we can still talk about the Houston game. We can talk about the Lady Raiders trouncing Utah. And how high can both of these teams go in the NCAA seedings? It's that time of year, the final week of January. We can have these logical discussions. Just how good can these teams be? Your thoughts and everything else on that. And to continue that discussion later on the show, we're going to welcome in our old friend from hoopshd.com, Chad Sherwood. They're one of only two sites we pay attention to when it comes to seeding, projections, and everything else. It's only hoopshd.com with Chad Sherwood and his great crew and Dave Almond's bunch at brackenville.wordpress.com. If they join forces, it would be incredible, but it would rip the universe apart. So we're glad we have both of those. But yeah, Chad's going to join us later on the show with his thoughts on where Tech is in their projections, rankings, and everything else, and what's going to happen in the Big 12. That plus the myth, we explode the myth that some of you still have, that NIL and the transfer portal is killing college football. It's killing it. Good, bad, and ugly recaps of the weekend. Super Bowl hype. We saw the Super Bowl last night, by the way, didn't we? You guys jump in on the United Supermarkets chat line right now, whether you are on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, whether you are on our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. All you got to do, subscribe. It's easy to do. Like the channel, like the video, send it out there. Do what you got to do. Get us over 700. And Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, free. Always subscribe, share, invite people in. In 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com, the website. Start your day every day there. We'll give you your thoughts on the day, morning questions, what we're going to be talking about, and then, of course, the Raiderland Hot Links brought to you by Jackson Brothers Meat Locker in Post, Texas, USA. Drive on down, drop by the store. They handle all of your processing, although right now, no more deer processing orders, all right? They're full up right now. But, yeah, you can order and they ship to you. Meats, cheeses, world-famous jerky, Jackson Brothers. Also, tonight, brought to you by McAlpin Chiropractic. Over the weekend, shoving a little snow, doing stuff, backs out of whack. Don't call a quack. Call Kevin Mack. Totally not his slogan, but it should be. Kevin McAlpin, a great Raider of West Texas. He can help you feel better. And then also brought to you by Middleton and Son. The best in farm, ranch, appraisals, and sales, not just in West Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, Oklahoma. You get the idea. The best in the West. Nobody does it better. Did they broker the sale for the 4.6s with Taylor Sheridan? Damn right they did. So if you're buying or selling property in this part of the world, you need to go by their website there for Middleton and Son, or go by their great Facebook page and tell them we said hello. You know? We do that. Tell them we said hello. All right, let's get it going on the United Supermarkets chat line. And I think maybe with the West Texas weather, they may be closing again tonight in Lubbock at 8 o'clock. If they are, they're doing that out of an abundance of caution. Is there another kind? Because it's like, again, going to be down to like 12, 10 degrees. And they don't want anybody getting hurt. They don't want anybody getting, falling down in the parking lot. Don't want the kids coming in. So be cool with that, right? So if you got to get some groceries, get it now before the sun goes down. And it looks like it's getting a little dark out there, getting a little cold. Now, where should we start tonight? Where do you want to begin tonight? Texas Tech basketball over the weekend. Lady Raiders big bounce back win after dropping a couple. One, you don't rebound. One, you turn it over too many times, and they throttle Utah Saturday night. They drop a couple of spots in the poll, I think 21. Tech men, obviously, you know the story, taking care of Houston 90 to 86 in Lubbock over the weekend. Move up to 11. We don't care about that. What do we care about? Right now, we care about where are they going to be in the NCAA tournament. Right now, the only thing we care about is where are they going to land up on the seed line. And I'm telling you right now, this team is better positioned going into the final week of January than any Texas Tech basketball team pretty much ever, thanks to the aggressive scheduling of Grant McCasland. Now, it didn't work out so well early on against Purdue, obviously. You didn't have the full complement of roster. You didn't have all the players you wanted at the time. And you gacked around a couple. I think the Arkansas game is one you look back and go, okay, maybe if you've been a little more healthy, but maybe if you just played a little freaking defense that day, that would have been different. But you get the Duke game. You get the LSU game. And certainly you've got the Houston game now. And I don't want to steal the thunder from Chad Sherwood, hoopshd.com, but they've got them right there on that 3-4 line, depending on which, bracket and nitty-gritty number. And there's a lot of different components to look at right now. But how high do you think they can go? Where do you think this team can go? That's the first question I want to put to you. Anything else on your mind? You want to talk about the Super Bowl? You want to talk about the matchup? You want to talk about Texas Tech football finishing up? It looks pretty solid. Number 2 portal class, maybe, compared to LSU. Whatever else you want to do, you get in right now. All right, let's see. Jeff gets in. Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl quarterback. Go Hawks. Okay, so I've been adamant over the last few weeks. I just can't live in a world where Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl quarterback. He is. Here's to Sam Darnold. And would I be putting my money on Sam Darnold right now? Yes, I would. NFC minus 2.5 over the weekend. Good luck to me. Super Bowl was played last night. The Seahawks won it. Jeff again on YouTube. By the way, YouTube people, subscribe to the channel. Like it. Like the video. Share it. Please do those things. If Tech men go 3-0 versus Arizona, Iowa State, and BYU, they can be vying for a 1 seed. All right, here's how you get the 1 seed. And that's all very good, and that's all very well. The 1 seed is reserved for the Big 12 champion. Whoever wins the Big 12 championship, and I would say play to the semifinals in the Big 12 tournament. But whoever wins the Big 12 championship, that's your 1 seed out of the league. The Big 12 will have a 1 seed. They'll have a 2 seed, maybe 2 3 seeds, and then we go 4 5. And that'll sort itself out over the next month, plus change into March. But you can give me any combination of Arizona, any of those games. No. You want the 1 seed, you win the Big 12. Now, to win the Big 12, what do you have to do? You probably have to beat Arizona. Arizona BYU clashing tonight. What a beautiful game we get to watch tonight. But it's if you want the 1 seed, you win the Big 12. I think the more rational thing right now from a Tech standpoint is probably a 2 seed. Alan gets in on YouTube, Raiderland, Raiderland, free, but you subscribe, you share, you like, you grow us over 700 subscribers on YouTube. Life is good. Tech basketball has a ceiling of a 2 seed. 2 3 seed is the same. Let's go back to San Diego in March. And Alan, with the prescient comment there about the 2 and the 3, it's a jersey number, right? So then it becomes, Where do you want to be seated regional wise? Where do you want to be seated? Can your fans get there? Does that matter? Is there a region that has a 1 seed that you don't want to match up with? And it's fascinating. I still keep seeing Texas Tech and Duke on a lot of projections in the same region. I'm like, okay, I get a rematch. Interesting. Yeah, 2 and 3 seed the same. Don's his name. He's on Facebook. Writes Raiderland on Facebook. Talking a little Super Bowl hype. Back when I was doing the Williams and Hyatt show for 18 and a half, 19 year, and then obviously me and Rob Bro on Talk 103.9 FM for several years, we were required by the FCC to engage in Super Bowl hype. We didn't want to, but the FCC mandates if you do a talk show longer than 2 hours every day during the week, you have to engage in Super Bowl hype to drive the numbers on TV and everything else. So we have to come up with topics. Done. Sam Darnold is in the Super Bowl before Dak. For that matter, so is rookie Jalen. All right, so let's talk about Sam Darnold. Jets fans are seeing ghost right now. Jets fans seeing ghost, and they're seeing one of their quarterbacks. So are the Vikings, for that matter, and maybe Carolina. I think if you're a Cowboy fan, you should be excited that these long-suffering franchises like Seattle in New England, who've gone decades without any success, can get to the Super Bowl. That should give you hope that you can get there. But if you're a Cowboy fan, my gosh, I mean, if those downtrodden teams who'd been down for so long with no way to get back via the draft or free agency or shrewd general manager moves or good head coaching hires. If you're a Cowboy fan, you should be excited that if they can do it, surely the Brain Trust in Dallas, Arlington, can do it. Jeez. Sam Darnold, though, is going to be a Super Bowl quarterback. Proof that anything can happen. And I kept denying it. I was riding the Rams last night. I was Rams money line. I was Rams going to win the game. And maybe if Sean McVay doesn't go brain dead stupid a couple of times and you don't have a punt returner just absolutely lay down and gack it up, maybe you get that done. It's a shame because Stafford, best quarterback, MVP, the best offense, the best. I don't want to get into a whole bunch of metrics right now and analytics on DVOA and everything else, but you got one of the best offenses not going to the Super Bowl, and you've got one of the worst metric analytical teams in New England going. Seattle big. Absolutely Seattle big. All right, so Texas Tech basketball, what do you think the ceiling is right now? And does Texas Tech have the chance to get better more than any other team right now, with Josiah Mosley coming in? We think Luke Bamboye is going to be ready for UCF. Everything seems to be pointing that he'll be back on the court this weekend. They're in Space City, and you get him back. So that's what, 5, 10, 15 minutes a game that you don't have to have Toppin out there. You've got a rim sealer in Bamboye. If all he does is block a few shots, hold the defense, maybe even have him and Toppin out on the floor at the same time and allow Toppin. And Toppin is so good getting the ball 15 feet away from the basket and abusing defenders. And you allow him to slide in on the right. Bamboye seals off on the backside. He just pushes his butt back out across the lane, backs it out. Got a big guy coming, got to get out of the way. Can't go around him, going to get a foul. Is that 4 points a game for Toppin? What's 4 points a game right now for Texas Tech? It's pretty big, Pretty big. Josiah Mosley, 2 3-pointers a game. Pulling the defense out. spelling a little bit here and there, some of your guards. This Texas Tech team, for my money, hasn't even begun to approach its ceiling, and yet here they are on the 4-3 line going forward. Where do you think it goes? We're going to visit with hoopshd.com. I believe I'm going to credit him with creator and originator, Chad Sherwood, coming up. He's been with us on radio. I think we've had him on this format before, but hell, I don't know. Gets weird. You get in on the comments on the United Supermarket chat line. Robert Christopher gets in on Facebook. The Hoth bacon cheeseburger I just ate gets my #1 seed. Secret ingredient that put it over the top. Northwest Huckleberry barbecue sauce. Good. The Crowd versus Houston. Bad. Take the points. Kick the field goal. Ugly. New England back to the Super Bowl. I kind of look at this New England team. It's not the New England team of Belichick and Brady and everything else. So we break away from that. Any more than I had no problem with New England. Craig James and Steve Grogan going up against the Chicago Bears in '85, and that turned out really bad. I don't have anything against this New England team. Truly don't. I just think they're going to get slaughtered. By that, I mean anywhere between 5.5 to 7.5 points. Jeff, hold on. Going back on the good, bad, and ugly recap. Do that on Mondays. The good, absolutely the Crowd versus Houston. I was not really expecting that, given the ice and the cold weather and everything else, that the game day crowd would be what it was, that the game day crowd would translate into the actual game crowd. 100%. They get not just a good, a great. All right. Take the field goal, Sean Payton. Get up 10-0. You could have been 10-0 going to the half. Jeff, he's on this Facebook thing. No, YouTube. Getting Mosley and Bam back is great timing. Gives us plenty of time to peak in early March. Brian's starting to figure it out. Atwell, Petty, ceiling is high. Don, where do you envision Toppin going in the NBA draft? Top 5, 10? If lower than that, might he stay for one more year? Nah, he's going. I don't think you could. Oh, here's the deal. Could you pay him enough to stay? Maybe. It's not worth it, I think, on the pay scale to do that. And whether he's going to be 5, no, I don't know. I don't follow the NBA draft. I would say top 15, top 10, and that's going to be enough, I think, to go, because you've got to expend roster dollars with guys that you know are going to be here. So I think you should. I think here's what you should do, Don. Hope that he has such a great year. He's so valued in the NBA that you can't afford to pay him enough in college to come back. Because if you're top 10, really, how much more are you going to get? Joseph is on Facebook. That's not a drug. That's an actual social media platform. I think we can be a #1 seed if the football team taught me anything. Is that it's a new day at Tech. Forget past failures. We don't live there anymore. All right, so it's not talking about past failures or anything. It's a mathematical equation, Joseph. In order for Tech to get to a #1 seed, right now, the #1 seeds, one of them you have to beat at the McKell Center in mid-February, and that's Arizona. You've got to win the Big 12. So it's not a mindset or anything. It's just the reality of it. Now, can they get there? We'll see. Let's see, off of YouTube, Rockavelli. The consensus mock is late first, early second. All right, so there you go. I have no idea whether this man is speaking with great NBA mock draft integrity or anything else. Could be, might be, don't know. But there you go. Now, I'd agree with this. Tweener issue for Toppin at the NBA level. That I can see. Although he continues to show great footwork down on the block and the ability to take it from the wing and score. The problem he's got in an NBA league right now, at least for me, Toppin, translating to the NBA, he's just a crappy shooter out there on the 3 line. And anymore, they want guys, I don't care whether you're 6'2 or 7'2, they want you knocking down threes, and that's really not his game. So if we want to talk about breaking down Toppin from a top 10 to a 20 to a back end first or a first end second based on team need, 100% they're what is it? Rockav 888. I'm always intrigued by people who put numbers in their handle. It's like a CB handle from the 70s. Anybody have one of those? CB or a handle? All right. It's my pleasure to welcome into the program tonight. We told you he was going to be here, and I wasn't lying this time. Oh, he's flat out here. We pay attention to exactly 2 websites, and I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning both of them right now. HoopsHD.com. Nobody does it better. Bracket projections, daily breakdowns of the best games coming up and everything else. And then podcast and online shows that'll knock your socks off, that include puppets sometimes. And, of course, our friend Dave Almond over there at brackaville.wordpress.com, who we'll visit with him later on this week. Nobody does it better. Nobody's done it better over the last, I would say, really decade or so than both of these sites. And that's why I tell you, only pay attention to these 2 sites. Pay attention to nobody else. So we bring in from hoopshd.com our man, Chad Sherwood. Chad, how you doing tonight?
So is this a spot to look to back Minnesota now?
How many times do you get?
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I gotta kill an audio deal.
One day is a
hold on.
The next day.
Hold on a second. I hate it when this happens. This is very embarrassing. All right, there we go. Sorry, Chad. I thought I had everything killed in the background, and I did not. Now you're up. What's going on? Oh, hold on a second. I got to mute mic. Where we go? I think we're good. Try it again. I'm having a problem with the audio. Don't know why we're not getting the audio. Double check your audio and see. I can see you. I got you. Everything looking good on my site right now. This is live. We cannot recreate this in the studio. This can only happen live, everybody. So hang in there for a second. What about now? How about now? Dadgummit. Completely not getting any audio on that end. Hang in there, Chad. Don't go anywhere yet. I'm not one to give up on an interview just this easily. That should be good. Give me one more try. Can you hear me now? Yeah, you got me, but I can't hear you. Dadgummit. All right, what are we doing here? I'm trying to run one more trap on this. All right, I'm going to kick you out of the studio, try to re-up, and we'll give it one more try, okay? All right. Now, that link should still work. I want to apologize to everybody. Normally, these things work pretty good. No, I don't want to leave that. I want to stay. We're going to try to bring that back in one more time. And you can hear me, and I can't hear you. Hey, I love modern technology. Feel like you're on a Zoom call with a court somewhere in lower New Jersey, don't you? Right? Like in Ocean City, New Jersey, and you're
How
on
about now? Did that do it?
I got you now.
Oh, okay. I found a setting and tried everything. There we go.
Bingo.
All right.
We got it. It was worth it. Trust me. We're going to make it worthwhile. Hey, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
What's okay, so we're damn near freezing right now. I'm going to check our temperature right now because I want to compare, because normally you guys are so much colder than we are this time of year. But here in West Texas, we are at 16 degrees with a wind chill of 4. What are y'all at right now?
I'm at 22 degrees. It's balmy over here in southern New Jersey. Wow.
Oh yeah, you're at Emmett Smith degrees right now. Emmett Smith with a broken shoulder. All right, I'm so glad this worked out, because every year this is early in the season I begin paying attention, and then this is about the time college football guy and other people around the country really begin dialing into college football, basketball. Pardon me. I get turned on to you guys either in 18 or 19 when we were tracking Texas Tech with Chris Beard in that season. And y'all were the only ones who I thought were tracking fairly on where they were projecting seed-wise. And I want to mention this to the people maybe who are, new to what you do at hoopshd.com. And I hope you don't mind. Can you give like a little synopsis of the site, how it began, and what you do, and how you do what you guys do?
I'll tell you what, Ryan, we were just a collection of guys who love college basketball. We decided probably about 20 years ago now that to get together, maybe do a little mock selection committee, and then started emailing back and forth. And one day we realized, hey, we've got all this great info we are exchanging with each other. Why not put it out there? And I guess we're right starting now. There's so many websites out there, we probably wouldn't have done it. But back then, there wasn't as many people doing it. We went ahead and we did it. We created this website. And we've always been completely commercial free. We've always been constantly updating the site. I hate when I log on a website. So this guy looks great, and I see he hasn't updated in 3.5 years. Site's always keeping updated, and we're just really trying to just get a lot of content out there on a daily basis. We're doing video podcasts 2-3 times a week, and we've got some great bracketology on the website. We've got a couple members of our crew are some of the best human bracketologists out there. We've got these J&G ratings that you'll find up there called the Joe Benetti grading ratings. Last year, they actually tied for the best prediction of the bracket of anybody, including humans. Tied for first with everybody, which was, for a computer to do that is almost mind-boggling. It had been the best computer system out there for about 10 years. Suddenly, it's the best of everybody, and I'm hoping we get first place solo this year is what I'm going for.
You get like a trophy with that, or they send a plate of ribs or something?
I wish I could use a plate of ribs right about now. Sounds good. But we do. And you talk about Texas Tech here. We've got them right now, right on that cut line between a 3 and a 4 seed. It's some absolutely amazing wins so far this season. But I got to tell you, the Raiders have a big hole in their resume, in my opinion. Also, they don't have a true road win against a team that's going to be in the NCAA tournament, and you need that if you want to eye the 1 or the 2 line.
And I think part of that now is it almost has to come in conference play, because we look at these top teams around the country, and nobody's going home. I shouldn't say nobody. There are a few, but it's very rare that teams are going now home and home non-conference. They're playing these games like Tech and Duke at New York City, or they're playing in the Bahamas and everything else. And has that become, as you guys put together your rankings, your bracket, one of those things that you've seen over the last couple of years, that it's now become almost exclusively a conference aspect game to get those high quad 1 wins?
Yeah, it is because everyone, especially because everyone wants to do that neutral court game on these big non-conferences. It's great. I say go play those games. I think that there's a lot of credit to playing those neutral court games. But your big road wins, you're right, probably have to come in conference. I know Texas Tech had a couple of shots. They had games at Illinois and at Houston, but these are two of probably the top 10 teams in the nation also. So, and both of them were close games actually. So that says a lot to me.
Where I think we're probably about the same age. I grew up watching, 70s college basketball, and then into the 80s, it was the Big East, and watching that conference beat up on each other into the 90s, Tobacco Road, and even before that. And I look at where this Big 12 is now. Where does this Big 12, as it stands today, compare to some of those great conferences where night in and night out, and we're going to see a good one tonight with Arizona and BYU in the Big 12. Where does this league stack up in the great moments of conferences? They come and go.
It's a tough one because I've got to say that the top 6 teams in the Big 12 this year are as good as better than any other conference. If we look at just the top 6, but there is, when you got these bloated 16-team leagues, and when you got 16 teams in the conference, you've got all these teams that have got to hang on there. So I don't know that it is one of the classic, 8-9 team Big East and the 8 and 9 team ACC where everybody was fighting for an NCAA tournament the entire season, because you've got to carry on the Colorados and the Cincinnatis and the Arizona States and the Utahs that kind of drag down the overall. And it's almost rare that you do get the good game because everybody's playing one of these garbage teams, it seems, every week.
Yes. I had a friend say the other day that they ought to take these big conferences like the Big 12 and do some sort of EPL thing every 2 years and say, all right, we've got an upper echelon basketball league and we're going to play these guys against each other. And everybody plays twice and everybody's got to go against each other. And the crap teams, you're down here, sorry, you're probably not going to be in the tournament anyways. And I was like, that's not the dumbest thing I've heard this week.
It's not. And what great TV would be to have home and homes in a round robin almost between Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas, Texas Tech, these big powerhouse teams. And these are the games everyone wants to watch. And you're right. There's a great game coming up tonight. We had a great game with the Red Raiders over the weekend against Houston. But there's also so many of these games. It's, Kansas is playing Cincinnati. Okay. So
we'll go back a little bit and transition into where you guys are now on the site. You guys do 2 different bracket breakdowns, and I think it's critical to explain to people who are hearing this for the first time and going to hoopshd.com. They're going to see 2 different brackets, and they may get confused a little bit on how one is put together and what it represents in the real time and what the other is on a projection. So go ahead and walk them through that.
Yeah. Actually, if you look, do a deep enough dive, you probably could find 3 or 4 brackets on the website. The fact is we are a group of 8 or 9 people that we have 8 or 9 different opinions on teams. And some of us give a lot more weight to different things, which in a way does mimic what the actual real selection committee does. They are constantly changing group of 12 people that all will have different opinions on what they weigh each year. Now, last year, as long as you remember the SEC you got in, we saw that last year. That was ridiculous. But we have one bracketologist who's on our panel by the name of John Titel. He does his own bracket, and he's one of the probably top 5% of all human bracketologists out there, way above a lot of the major networks. Up there with Dave, who's your other site that you promoted. He does a great job as well. But the other bracket that you tend to see are the brackets that we put together as a committee. In fact, we did one just last night. We actually get together and we'll argue out even do a podcast. We'll argue out the season, argue everything out, and kind of mimic what the committee does, but try to get it done in an hour. And that's really the second major bracket you'll see. There's almost a third bracket you'll see if you check out those J&G ratings, though. In that tab, you'll see projected seeds for what the tournament would be according to those rankings right now as well. And again, so you almost have 3 different ways you can look at it. And I know that doesn't really commit us to anything, but on the other hand, it gives us a lot of different insight and lets us go on our podcasts and argue with each other and yell at each other as opposed to just pat each other on the back.
How much fun has it been to, over the last, say, 5, 6, 7 years of doing this, to distill down both the metrics, the analytics that you use, and then the human element, and infuse that compared to where it was when you began? That, and this is not really a good, I'm not asking a very good question. I would be thrown out of court if I were, asking this question. But to me, it's been fun to watch the evolution of the site, the discussions, the podcast you all do, where it was a few years ago and what you're bringing in now, and able to bring it to bear with the knowledge of you guys going back and forth over the last few years. I know there's a question in there somewhere. I don't know what it is, but it's just fun for me to watch. What's it been like for you to do this and learn from each other and then put it out on the site?
Yeah, I think we do actually in time get a little bit of group thing going, which is every now and then we actually have new people come on and join us on the shows, which is great to get a little new perspective in there. Plus, over recent years, there are so many more metrics out there. Back in the day, we had the RPI and maybe like a KenPom rating. Now we've got BPI and Torvik and all these adjusted offenses and adjusted defensive ratings and tempo ratings.
Are there too many? Are there maybe so many? Is it paralysis by analysis that we're seeing sometimes?
I think there are. For example, last year they brought in this WAB, this WAB rating. And when we took a look at what the actual selection committee did, it seemed to be another rating that they almost relied more heavily on than some of the others. And this was a new number that came in out of nowhere. It's a wins above the bubble. It's similar to a rotisserie baseball, fantasy baseball.
Yeah, WAR rating.
WAR rating for college basketball teams. And there's just, you're right, there is so much out there. And you're trying to not only distill all these to figure out what teams are good, but then also try to figure out what this group of 12 guys like that in a conference room in March are going to do with all these ratings, because they have all those numbers sitting in front of them as well. As opposed to, I mean, I remember back when we started this, it was, okay, we had an RPI rating, and then we had the eye test. That was it. What did the team look like? Did the team look like the great team when they played, or did they look like a team that somehow pulled off a few miracle wins, but really wasn't as good as their record?
If they expand the tournament, will you revolt?
I personally am in the minority here. I don't think expand the tournament is really going to do much. Okay, there'll be a few more games on that first four weekend. I mean, we're going to be fighting over who's 68 and who's 69. Now we'll be fighting over who's 76 and who's 77. It'll be the same discussions. I don't think that that's the biggest problem facing college basketball right now, as opposed to what's going on with professional players playing for Alabama and stuff like that.
That will be a show for another day. I have no doubt. I have kept you longer than I said I would. I apologize for that.
Not a problem.
And I'm trying to think of a really good ender here. But so I'll go with this from a Big 12 standpoint. Give me the top 3 teams you think will be representing the Big 12 seed-wise when we get to March.
Seed-wise, I think Arizona's a lock.
Okay.
Houston, I think, ends up being number 2. It's the number 3. I'd love to tell you it's Texas Tech, but I'll tell you that DeBansta is amazing for BYU, and he's been carrying them. And I think at the end of the day, it's the hottest team in the conference. I think it's the Kansas Jayhawks that ends up being the 3rd one. I think they're the team I'm really looking at.
Okay, I lied. One more. Okay. Will the Big 12 tournament matter to any of the top 5 teams in the Big 12 going to the tournament? Can they do anything at the tournament this year that will, make the committee look at them different?
I don't think that the Big 12 tournament's going to play much in terms of that. I think the Big 12 tournament will mostly be to decide a few bubble spots for teams like TCU or Oklahoma State that may be hanging around the bubble. Or obviously, if something crazy happens and, Utah wins the tournament, steals a bid or something like that. But that's what the Big 12 tournament will be for. I don't think you could see seeds moving among those top teams in the conference tournaments.
And I'd get rid of it other than going to Kansas City every few years and having some halfway decent barbecue. By the way, it's really not that good. Kansas
Really?
City barbecue people. It's really not that good. Trust me on that. All right. Tell people again about the site, what they need to know, how to follow you guys, everything else.
Yeah, just check out our website on Hoops HD. If you're on Twitter or X or Blue Sky, it's at Hoops HD. You can follow us. We're posting regularly there as well. But the site gets updated every single day. Just check it out. There's tons of content, tons of podcasts. We'll be recording another one here in about an hour tonight. So it's a ton of fun.
You guys are the best. Chad, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Brian.
He's been kind enough to be on the radio show, Twitter, you name it, everything else. Just I hope we can steal your time and some of your guys as we go through, because I know Texas Tech fans are paying attention to what you're doing.
All right. Thanks for having me on again.
Be well. Stay warm. All right. Sorry it took so long. Had a little congestion on the old line there, but we got it figured out. Again, hoopshd.com. As good as it gets. We advise you people to pay attention to nobody else, not Lenardi, not anybody else. No. Hoopshd.com, Brackeville.wordpress, Dave Almond. They're the best. You guys are the best. We're going to shut it down tonight from the Hat Creek Interior Studios. It is getting a little colder, but we're going to be back in the morning, Tuesday's best, on the website, theraiderland.com. We ask you to do a couple of things. Share this, invite your friends in, tell them we said, hey, whether you are on YouTube, whether you are on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thanks again to United Supermarkets on the chat line, McAlpin Chiropractic, Middleton and Son, the best in farm and ranch sales and appraisals, and all of it coming to you from the Hat Creek Interior Studios right here in West Texas. All right, we'll see you tonight on social media and otherwise, and get ready for your daily dose of West Texas. They're on Facebook as well.